Morning everyone, welcome to week 2 of your revision and homework sessions on algebra. So you'll remember last week we talked about BIDMAS, we talked about substitution, and we talked about the other thing that will come back to me in a moment. That doesn't matter. But the point being that we're going to continue to give you questions on those things. It was indices actually, just come back to me. We're going to continue to give you 1 or 2 questions each week on those things whilst building upon that. Okay, so we're going to introduce new content today, but we're also just going to keep reminding you of the stuff that we've already learned, because that's how this is going to work best. So today we're going to start looking at collecting like terms. None of this is new. All of you have done this. In fact, you've done it lots of times. So you're going to have a few, oh, I remember it moments, okay? But that's fine. So collecting like terms. Immediately you might start recognizing what kind of question this is. What we're looking to do is simplify. Now, if you simplify 7a plus 2a, it's nice and easy, right? We're just going to add 7 lots of a plus 2 lots of a, which gives us 9 lots of a. But it does start getting a little bit more complicated, and in order to make sure that we get the more complicated stuff correct, I want us to follow a particular process. And you'll recognise it as soon as I start doing it. We have got there different terms. So we've got a 7a, we've got a plus 10b, we've got a plus 6a, and we've got a minus 3b. First thing we're going to do is circle our terms. 7a plus 10b. Really important thing here, make sure you put the operation first. Plus 6a. And then a minus 3b there. Once we've circled the terms, we have to collect them together, because that's what it's called, right? Collecting like terms. So, what have we got here? We've got a's and we've got b's. Let's put all of the a's together, because that's what comes first in the question. 7a, that's now gone, plus 6a. So I've now got my a's together. What have I now got? I've now got a plus 10b, and then I've got a minus 3b. Now I've got my a's together, I've got my b's together, so I can simplify further. What's 7 lots of a plus 6 lots of a? Well, what I've got there is 13a. Plus 10b, take away 3b. Well, 10 take away 3 is going to give me plus 7b. Okay, and that's all we need to do. You'll recognise this, and I'm not going to make it any more complicated than that at the moment. We probably will next week, because we've got quite a lot of content to cover. But have a look on the sheet and complete some of the collecting like terms questions, including this one. Shall I do this one first? I forgot I even put this one on here. Let's do this one. So, what do? We collect our like terms. Firstly, we circle them. Collect them together. Well, the first thing in the question is a 4d. That's gone. Then we've got a minus 5d. Plus 6e. Plus 4e. Now, the only reason, I know that I've just contradicted myself, the only reason I do want to go through this is just to show that we can end up with minus numbers. So 4d, take away 5d, okay, can be quite tricky. As I always say to you, when you're working with quite small numbers and you're going to go into minus numbers, always worth drawing a number line to see how we're going to get on. But I know 4d take away 5d is going to give me minus 1d. Okay? Then I've got a plus 6e plus 4e, which is going to give me a plus 10e. Okay? As I say, have a go at some of those. That's going to help us when we look at expanding brackets. This gets a little bit trickier. Now, the first thing that we need to remind ourselves of is how we multiply positive and negative numbers. Easiest way to remember it is when the operations are the same, it will be a positive. When the operations are different, it will be a negative. What does that mean? Well, what is 5 times 3? What we need to work out there is 5 lots of 3 or 3 lots of 5, right? So I'm going to do it easiest way because I know my 5 times table is best. I'm going to say, what's 3 lots of 5? 5, 10, 15. So that will give me 15. Minus 5 times 3 looks much scarier. But let's just do the multiplication first. We know that 3 times 5 is 15. We've got a negative times a positive. What do we have to do? Negative times a positive, so it becomes a negative answer. Okay? Same question down here. Minus 5 times minus 3 looks even scarier. Let's just do the multiplication. 3 times 5 is 15. We've got a negative and a negative. Well, that means the operations are the same, so that actually becomes a positive 15. Now that is just a very quick recap. We've done lots of this, but this is really, really important when we come on to expanding brackets. Okay, we just need to remember those rules. So, what do we mean by expanding brackets? Expanding brackets is multiplying what's on the inside of the brackets by what's on the outside of the brackets, so we can get rid of the brackets out of the question. Okay? Really easy example here, but some of you would get this wrong. There's a really common mistake that I will go into in just a moment. Okay? So, we multiply what's on the inside by what's on the outside. Well, what is 3 times a? What we've got there is a number and a letter. We can't multiply them together, but we can write them as a multiplied answer in an algebraic form. So what we put is just 3 lots of A, except in algebra we don't put that, do we? We just put 3A. When you've got a number and a letter next to each other, it's just one of those things you have to remember. That always means multiplying. That means 3 times A. Okay? But that's as far as we can go there. What else have we got here? We've got a 3 and a 2. Well, they're both numbers. We can multiply those together. What is 3 times 2? It's 6. It's a positive and a positive, so it's positive 6. Now, the mistake lots of people make, they do this first bit, and then they'll just put, so they'll put 3A, and then they'll put, oh yeah, plus 2. What you do on one side, you have to do on the other. Don't forget that. It's a really common mistake. So multiply this side by the outside and this side by the outside. And that becomes our answer. Let's do another one then. Well, we've got 6 on the outside, we've got 2A here. So what is 6 times 2A? Well, we've got a number and a number, so we can multiply those. So 6 times 2 is 12. 12 what? Well, it's 12 lots of A, so 12A. So we've done one side. Now we do the other side. 6 times 5, 6 lots of 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 is 30. We've got a positive multiplied by a negative. So the operations are different, so it's negative 30. Okay? Have a go at some of those. Now, looks really, really scary, right? But as we did with BIDMAS, we're just taking one small question at a time. We don't look at that in its entirety because that's going to scare anyone. We're just going to do one small piece at a time. What we've basically got here is just 2 lots of the same thing. We've just got 2 lots of brackets that we need to expand. What's 3 times 3? 9. So we've done this one already. 3 times x is 3 lots of x, positive and a positive, so it's positive. So that's already done. Now we multiply this side. We've got 5 times 2x. Well, we can multiply the numbers together. 5 times 2 gives us 10x, and it's a positive and a positive. Then we've got 5 times 4. 5 lots of 4 is 20. And we've got a positive times a negative, so it's negative. And that's our answer. Except it's not. What did we do here? We collected our like terms. So far, we've got this far, and that is fantastic, because this is already quite tricky stuff. They do get harder, hang around for next week, but now what we need to do is just collect our like terms. We already know how to do that. We circle our terms, and then we gather them together and we simplify. And I think that's all I've prepared for you this week. Lots of stuff there. Have a go. Come and ask me any questions that you might have in class. and we'll build on this a little bit next week because they do get trickier, but that just means it's more fun, right? Okay. Have a great week, everyone.